It goes without saying that this would be the lighthouse here on St. Simon's Island. Rather historic. This lighthouse and keeper's dwelling were completed in 1872, replacing the lighthouse destroyed during the Civil War by the Confederates. And there's some different information here. What I'm going to do is just I'm going to see if I can't find my way up to the top and give you a nice view of the lighthouse from the top. And I'll show you the grounds as well. The gazebo off to the left of the keeper's dwelling was once the ornamental cover for a water tank at the summer cottage built by shipping magnate FDM Strachan on St. Simon's Sound around 1910. It was donated to the Coastal Georgia Historical Society and moved to this property in 1989. So, just gonna kind of do a nice little walk. There's a museum. There's actually a lighthouse museum just off to the side here. And it is really a picture-perfect day here on St. Simon's Island. Wonderful, wonderful opportunity to do a walk and talk and just find my way around this spot. I'm staying at an Airbnb in a nearby town called Brunswick, which I'm sure is historical in and by itself. So I give you another nice shot of the lighthouse there. And then here would be the gazebo. See a gentleman taking a picture there with the gazebo as if he's getting ready to fire it off. Alright, let's go see if we can't find our way up to the top of the lighthouse. And I don't know if this would be the keeper's quarters or not. Perhaps. There's a sign just over here. I don't see any windows on it. The first St. Simon's Lighthouse, completed in 1810, once stood on this site. An archaeological study in 1972 confirmed the location. And there you would see looks like it's actually a picture of the lighthouse. Alright, let's go into the museum. I'll grab a ticket and then we'll see if we can't find our way up to the top of the lighthouse. Just around the corner is the entrance to the Coastal Georgia Highway Society A.W. Jones Heritage Center. And inside is the museum lighthouse, or the museum store, and or both. And this is where I'll see if I can't grab myself a ticket. And this is what greets you as you step inside the front door. The legacy of the G8 summit in June 2004 heads of state from the world's 8 major industrial democracies, plus representatives from the European Union, the Middle East, and Africa gathered on Sea Island, Georgia for the 30th G8 summit. So I see GW off to the right, and there's Putin kind of straddling behind there and walking by himself. So to go into the lighthouse, it's going to cost it'll cost $12 to go into the lighthouse. So I was more than happy. And this is the museum store right here, and oftentimes, like I like to do, is gonna just give you an idea as to what is available for purchase. Really nice necklaces that you can buy. They've got a short film that you watch before actually going into the museum, or into the lighthouse, I should say. So we'll go watch the film and then go up into the lighthouse.
Before the 104-foot
There's a short little bit of the video.
Cottage were completed in 1872. A third-order Fresnel lens was again installed installed in the new tower, which today still broadcasts the light's beacon to ships as far away as 23 miles. Evenings are an ideal time to look toward the lighthouse and view the lens and beam in action. Full-time keepers served the St. Simon's Lighthouse during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, at a time when the island's population numbered in the hundreds, and travel to and from the island was only by boat. Although the island was beginning to attract seasonal visitors to its beaches, a lightkeeper's life was one of isolation and around-the-clock duty. The light station was regimented, strenuous, and done strictly by the book. The official keeper's manual laid out detailed instructions for every task, from cleaning the lens with vinegar and water to painting the tower inside and out. An hour before sunset each evening, the keeper climbed the tower to fuel and light the kerosene lamp. There, the keeper would wind the clockwork weights that rotated the panels to create the light's flash pattern. And during the long nights, the keeper trimmed the lamp's wick to keep the flame steady and bright. Often, other members of the family helped with chores, and sometimes the keeper's wife was his official assistant. The lighthouse and keeper's dwelling had to be well maintained at all times, ready for surprise inspections by the district superintendent. Keepers took pride in maintaining an immaculate station. In the 1880s, the local newspaper praised keeper Isaac Peckham and his wife Dora for having the best light of any station in the 6th district.
All right, I found my way into the museum, and as the gentleman was telling me, there's two stories as you walk in, and this story down here has been changed into a display of different items, as you can see. And this was was a residence at one time. They would have two residences here, and down here being one, and then upstairs being another, and they've got the upstairs set up as an actual residence. But I'll show you some of this stuff here. There is a United States Lighthouse Service cup and saucer, and just a lot of interesting. Jinx and the Ghost. Keeper Carl Svensson arrived in 1907 with his wife Annie and daughter Helen. Their son Carl Jr. and daughter Lucille were born on the island. Life at the lighthouse. There's a boat brush. See that? This would take you up to the lighthouse itself, but I'm going to do a quick tour of the upstairs. They actually had a old photograph here that I'll share with you. And they had stairs going up the side to the entrance of the upstairs residence. And here's some more information. There's Bobby Jones, golfing legend. All right, let's go up and look at the mock-up residence. Imagine life at the lighthouse. So you've got the keeper's bedroom, the kitchen, the children's room, and the parlor. So we'll start with the keeper's bedroom. And this would be the keeper's bedroom. Imagine it'd get rather hot and humid here in the summertime. There would be the desk. Always wonderful coming and looking at something like this. Here is the sewing machine. This is the bedroom for the keeper and his wife. The keeper also used it as his office. Keeper probably did not get much sleep at night since it was his job to keep the lighthouse lamp burning and the weights wound. There you have it. And then just over here, you would have the children's room. Little toy horse right there. Back in the day. Kind of reminds me of the running joke I've got about riding Skip Smith all the time. Like a pony. And here's a nice little toy. Look at that. Come out, and this would be the kitchen. Have some bread in the pantry. Look at the old ironing board. That would probably be a pecan pie, I would imagine, being here in Georgia. And then the last room would be the parlor. The living room, if you will. Look at the old phonograph. Nice little piano. All right, we'll go up and check out the actual lighthouse. It looks like those are the poems of E.A. Poe, Edgar Allan Poe, I would imagine. All right, let's go upstairs. All right, just inside the door you see plate number 10, which shows you I guess this would be the drawings, if you will, for the house here. And then here is the staircase that the keeper must have been climbing all the time. So we'll just find our way up to the top. I don't know how many steps it is. 108. 108 steps to go from here. And this is the view that awaits you when you come up. I see the bridge off in the distance that I came over to get onto the island. You have a public pool just down below with a lap pool, kiddie pool. And then they have a miniature golf course right there. And here's the town. A little bit breezy today. I don't know if the wind is going to affect the sound on the video. I'll do a walkthrough and just show you the view from the top of the lighthouse. There's a rather nice home just down there. Give you an idea as to how high up we are. There's your look down. Rather flat as you look out across the island. It'd be like a rather flat terrain. Here's the beach. Reach the beach. Alright, so that concludes the tour of the lighthouse here on this beautiful Georgian island. On to the next stop. Alright, with the lighthouse out of the way, I found my way back into the town here, and in doing so I've come across the Golden Isles Welcome Center, which is what I assume they call the islands in this part of Georgia, the Golden Isles. So this has some information, a gallery, and a gift shop. We'll go in and take a look. Alright, so once inside you're greeted with some really beautiful paintings of the island and a small gift shop. Really is a beautiful, beautiful spot. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Carmel out in California. You want to take a nice horse ride. And this is what I'm trying to find right here. This beautiful avenue of oaks, which is supposed to be not too far from here. I also believe that they have some trees with various carvings in them, as you can see right here. We'll see if we can't find one or two of those as the day progresses. And of course, here's the lighthouse. Alright, let's find our way into town. As I find my way down Beachview Drive to what I'm assuming is Main Street here, I'll share a little bit of Wikipedia with you about St. Simons. St. Simons is an island off the Georgia coast. It's known for its salt marshes and sandy stretches like East Beach. A museum traces the history of St. Simons Lighthouse. Rebuilt in 1872 after it was destroyed in a civil war, anglers fish off nearby St. Simons Pier, which offers views of Jekyll Island and migrating whales. North, boats travel to Little St. Simons Island, home to birds like spoonbills and gannets. So we'll just do a nice little walk and talk through the town. Unfortunately, I don't have my gimbal, and I'm using a SLR camera to do the video. And hopefully my hand is steady enough. You can see you can rent yourself some paddle boards, kayaks, what have you. Point to think I was just over in places like Reykjavik and Porto, Portugal, and Zagreb, Croatia, doing these walk and talks, and now I find myself over here to none other than St. Simon Island here in Georgia. A lot of turtles here, I understand. This, I'm assuming, would be your main street here on the island, where you've got all types of cafes and people enjoying bicycles built for two. There they go. So I'll just walk down to the pier, which I believe is just up a little ways, not too far. I would imagine that this is a ideal time of year to visit because of the nice weather.
Well, no, I think Saturday's sort of a bad day, probably. Or during the week,
Just as if you were here yourself. Really a special little place. We'll see if we can't find our way up to the pier here shortly. Not a very big island. And I believe I was told that Sea Island, which is just a very short distance from here, an island in and by itself, connected to St. Simon Island by a causeway, is a private island with a 5-star resort, and only residents and guests and people that work on the island have the ability to go there. Alright, so I think we're going to come up to the pier here momentarily. And we found our way to the pier. Looks like there's some folks coming in from a day on the water or a day on the beach, or maybe both. Looks like a day on the water with all the fishing rods that they've loading up there. Wonder if they had any luck and caught anything. Did you catch anything? You didn't catch anything. That's a bummer. With all those fishing rods, you'd think you'd catch something. Look at all those fishing rods that they got there. Is that something or what? Well, they don't mess around. All right. What a beautiful place. This would have been a wonderful place to share with my father. This is only a stone's throw from the lighthouse. And here you have the St. Simon's Island Pier. A lot of people out there fishing. So we'll take a walk out. Dusky shark, 14 feet, 1,000 pounds, caught by Neil Yeomans, 1996. Alright. I'll come back when I get up to the end. I found my way to the end of the pier. And you got about half a dozen fishermen out here. Why is it that every time I do one of these videos off of one of these piers, I'll be at Naples or out in California or what have you, I never see somebody reeling in a big one? I mean, like a really, really big one. Maybe my luck will change today. Anybody catch anything off this pier today?
This morning, somebody caught a big black drum, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. Oh yeah? And the gray shirt did, huh? Uh-huh. There you got the lighthouse just off in the distance. Living the good life. You guys are living the good life, you know that?
That's true.
You're just living the good life. Alright. Or maybe it's this guy that's living the good life. Right here. But I think it was I think he said the guy in the green shirt is the guy that caught the shark. I think. Are you the guy that caught the shark? Are you? What kind of shark was it? What kind?
Bonnethead.
A bonnethead?
Bonnethead.
Bonnethead. Never heard of a bonnethead shark.
Similar to a hammerhead.
Yeah? Did it put up a big fight?
Honestly, I didn't know I had it on. I thought I was tangled up with another guy's line, and then
Yeah?
I got it up.
Just a catch and release, basically?
That's all I fish for, really.
It's not worth anything?
The fish is. Some people eat it, but
Yeah.
I don't really catch it.
Good. Alright, have a nice day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, a bonnethead. Bonnethead shark. I'll have to Google that and see if I can't find a picture of what a bonnethead shark looks like. I used to fish quite a bit when I was a kid, growing up in northern Ohio. We'd go out fishing for sheephead in Lake Erie. Sheephead or bass or smelt. And sometimes we'd go up to a place called the Holden Arboretum off of Route 306. Those of you back in the Cleveland area, we'd go fishing for bluegill. That's what we'd go fishing for. See how many bluegill. Those were never hard to catch. So, all right, I'm gonna go see if I can't find that avenue of oaks. Let's see. Walking back to the car on my way to hopefully find the avenue of the oaks that you see in a lot of postcards and pictures and movies. I can't help but just share the beautiful trees that you see everywhere. Look at that oak tree. Just really, really beautiful. So we'll go see if we can't find the avenue of the oaks up ahead somewhere. This is what it looks like driving through the island. Just beautiful. You got the trees with the hanging moss. Really is a beautiful, beautiful spot. Alright, I made a turn onto, I think it's Retreat Avenue. And there's a lodge up at the end, and I'll see if I can't find that postcard scene of the trees. This is just beautiful. Imagine driving home every night from a hard day at the office and just coming through this beautiful scene. The scene that I saw of the avenue of the oaks didn't have a paved road through it. Maybe this is it just up here to the left. I would be willing to bet. Yeah, that would be it. You walk down, I see two rows of trees there. So I'll see if I can't park the car somewhere and go walk amongst them. And I found my way to the Avenue of the Oaks. Will you look at this? It's really beautiful. What a scene. Beautiful, beautiful trees. And I just love the look of the Spanish moss hanging off of the trees. Look at that. Really a special spot on Earth. All right, let's go explore the rest of the island. Boy, all along as I drive, it is just so beautiful here. You've got flowers blooming, and the road is just really bring the camera inside the car. I'm going out towards Fort Frederica, which is I believe it may be a national monument, just up ahead. There was a sign, the Battle of Gully Hole Creek. A lot of Civil War activity down in this part of the country. Earlier I was looking at the tour guide of the islands, and one of the things that you can do here if you come to visit is get on the St. Simon's trolley, and this trolley will for about 45 minutes, I believe, or an hour, will take you around. So I saw an opportunity to stop, and I'm going to stop. I see the tour group going into a church just up ahead, so we'll go and take a tour of that on our way out to the monument. Christ Episcopal Church. This congregation was established as a mission of the Church of England in February 1736. The Reverend Charles Wesley, ordained priest of that church, conducted the first services in the chapel within the walls of Fort Frederica. The Reverend John Wesley, rector of Christ Episcopal Church, Savannah, also served with this mission. Under the name of St. James, this was one of the 8 original parishes established in 1758. After the Revolution, this and other churches, which had served continuously by clergymen of the Church of England, formed the Protestant Episcopal Church in the United States of America. Let's go inside and take a look. It says Christ Church was incorporated by the state legislature in 1808 and given a glebe of 108 acres, and in 1823 was one of the 3 parishes organizing the Diocese of Georgia. The first church built on this property in 1820 was almost destroyed during the war between the states. The present building was erected on the same site in 1884. All right, there is a cemetery here that you can visit, and I would imagine some of the headstones are probably rather dated. Let's see if we can take a look on the inside. Welcome visitors. Church is open Tuesday through Sunday, 2 to 5. So we'll go inside and take a look, and then go walk through the cemetery. Quite a contrast to walking through the churches in Europe.
Hello. Are you part of the group that's on the bus?
No.
No, just an individual.
Yeah. I'm just an individual.
Just
How are you?
I'll get out of your way and get a picture or two.
Okay. What a beautiful church.
You're standing in an 1885 building.
1885?
And it's the second church. It was 1820 was the first church.
Uh-huh.
The wood in here is heart pine, and I don't know whether you're from the south, but wood in this climate do not mix very well. But
No?
This is heart pine with all the resin in it, and it's now like solid rock, and it's made this a very beautiful church, and it was built primarily by shipbuilders. If you look at the ceiling, it is built like the hull of a ship.
Built like the hull of a ship.
An inverted hull of a ship. I've
Uh-huh.
always said that if you turned it upside down, it would probably float just fine.
I'll be darned. And are you a parishioner here?
I'm a parishioner and I'm a docent because we feel that we have a story to tell because we're so much a part of the history of the island that we enjoy telling the story and how it relates to going back to the 1700s. And
Wonderful.
We got the first church here in 1820, but people were worshiping here either on the grounds or in their homes before that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Will you do me a little favor?
Sure.
Will you give you know what a shout out is?
Sort of.
A
yes.
shout out. Will you give a shout out to Skip Smith in the Villages? Tell Skip Smith in the Villages he really needs to mosey on up here.
Okay. You need to mosey on up here. What is his name again?
Skip Smith.
Skip Smith, you need to mosey on up here to the north end of the island and see Christ Church and Fort Frederica and learn about the island.
There you go, Skip Smith. There's your shout out from a beautiful, beautiful Southern peach and docent here in
You have a chore?
the island. Look at this. So it was built by shipbuilders. Isn't that something? Only on Tom TV.
Should they sit down and I'll give them? You'll do it. That's perfect. If you
Look at that.
want to do it, that's super.
Yeah, that's it. Y'all come down, take a seat, please.
Okay, the tour group is coming in, so I better excuse myself. Here's a nice shot of the stained glass window as I'm leaving. Look at that.
Okay, y'all, now about the only thing that Nashville's ever salvaged
All right.
originally 1820 church, a few of the pews, most of which are in the choir section, there's one.
In the background you hear a man giving a tour of the cemetery, but this tombstone will give you some ideas to the age and history of this
He
graveyard.
decided he had to hide out and get away from the press. His good friend, Major Pierce Butler, brought him here to St. Simon.
As you walk about, you can't help but to notice the Confederate flags here. There's Robert H. Cooper, 1841 to 1914, Lieutenant CSA, 1861 to 1865 was the time that he served.
Was Pierce Butler of South Carolina.
A lot of history.
Was the only man that signed.
On my way out, I couldn't help but to resist taking a short little video of this tree here, if you will. It's got the Spanish moss that's complementing the, I see some white roses and then some red roses as well. No shortage of beauty. And if you had to find a final resting place, this certainly is not a bad place to hang out for eternity. And I am heading off the island here, so I hope you enjoyed this visit to this beautiful spot, and one day you get to come and see the same things and experience the same things that I did today.